And I know that we kind of like talked about a couple of red flags that, could hinder your chance to move forward in the application process. But other than the grammar, I can't even speak now. Other than the typo errors, let's go with that. What are some other red flags that you would, immediately kind of disregard for a candidate to move forward?
So I think it kind of goes back to the theme I was mentioning earlier about relevance. So, for example, if a resume, if their summary or objective section or paragraph says they're applying for or they're interested in like a completely different job or a completely different industry than the one they've submitted their application for, that's a really easy way right off the top to just say, okay, this person, first of all, probably either didn't have enough attention to detail or didn't care about making this tailored and relevant to the job they're applying to, or they might just be spraying their resume out as a blanket to like 50 or 100 different jobs all at once kind of thing, and not really paying attention to what actual job or what actual industry, what the type of companies and their business is and that kind of thing. So that's a really easy one. I think when it comes to, for example, the skills section as well, again, it's about relevance. You want to see skills that are directly relevant to the job at hand, hopefully some overlap or similarities with kind of what was advertised in the job posting or the job description. If it's for an accounting role, for example, and the top skills listed are like interpersonal and communication and like presenting and those kinds of things, while those aren't necessarily bad things for an accounting role, they're not the top skills. Like I would think of like attention to detail and prioritization and like mathematical or analytical abilities and like organizational skills. Like all these kinds of things would be much more important or more heavily weighted in that type of job, for example, just in that instance. So again, just having, if a candidate has really irrelevant skills listed, especially like at the top of their skills section or in the majority of their skills section, that is probably a way to kind of push them out of the process as well. Those would be some of the bigger ones, I think. And then honestly, it might sound simple, but formatting is a big one. For me, I would say about the only role that I wouldn't maybe judge as harshly for formatting issues or typos and that kind of thing would be like a really technical type of like engineering position, whether it's software engineering or like an IT, like a high level IT person, or even engineers in different industries, that kind of thing. As long as they're good at like those kinds of roles, as long as they're good at math or they're good at coding or whatever, that's kind of the most important factor. Whereas the communication and formatting and that kind of thing or attention detail sometimes falls a little bit behind. But I would say for the wide majority of roles, having consistent like formatting, consistent fonts and headings and clear headings where you can kind of read and follow along and see where each section is and everything like that. Consistency in like how a candidate is representing how long they were at an employer. So whether they choose like month year or date month year or whatever, having kind of consistency in terms of formatting. It's just really the little things, attention to detail can go a really long way. And it's sort of sad in a way that sometimes those things make such a big impact or a big difference on certain people's applications. But again, if you're one resume in a pile of 250 plus, like we as recruiters and hiring leaders have to use the information really that's available to us to make decisions and to cut that list back. And again, that kind of leads me back full circle to what I was just mentioning in terms of really focusing on the networking side of things as well, like doing things that are above and beyond your resume, above and beyond your actual job application that can kind of give a little bit more influence or shape your job search and your chances for success a little bit more than strictly your resume might.